Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN. And yes, the return of boxing, the Tropicana Atlantic City Showroom, is Saturday, March 22nd. And part of, listen, it's a jam-packed card, okay? You got 5 undefeated New Jersey fighters on the card. But the man who's joining me right now is not just a local fighter. He's making his professional debut on Saturday, March 22nd. Julio Sanchez III from Pleasantville is joining me here in the studio. Julio, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So just kind of give the audience a perspective on what it's like for someone like yourself to make this transition, because I know for you, this is not something that you take lightly. You're not flippantly being like, oh yeah, I'm a pro fighter. Like you're serious about the training you're doing.
Yeah. At first, when I first started, it was kind of hard just getting used to it and getting used to the lifestyle of a boxer. But I feel like now it's easier, especially with the help of my dad and everybody else at the gym. So I'm kind of getting used to it now.
You said it was difficult at first. What was difficult about it? Like, wait, was it the hours? Was it the type of training you were doing? Like, what was it?
I don't more so think it was the hours or anything, because I've been an athlete my whole life. I've been putting in hours of work my whole life. I just think it was just the complete lifestyle change, like being disciplined, watching your weight, stuff you got to eat. I think it was just more so that.
So was there like a food that you were like, you couldn't believe you had to stop eating it? Like,
just a lot of fast food, greasy food.
Well, you shouldn't be eating that anyway.
Yeah.
So. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
That stuff like cigarettes will probably kill you before anything else will.
Yeah.
So, but when you think about it now, you've made the commitment. You've made this decision that you're taking your life in this direction. What are the goals for someone such as yourself at this point? Like, obviously, you know, the plan is to win on Saturday, March 22nd at the Tropicana. But, like, you know, outside of the wins and the losses, like, what are your goals? Is it development? Is it just growth? Like, what is your mindset here?
I think the goal for me is just to be the best me that I can be. Wherever that takes me, I'll be grateful for it. But I just want to be the best I can and go as far as I can with the sport.
Of course, again, Saturday, March 22nd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. And we're going to also talk, because Julio is not just Julio Sanchez III is here, but his dad, Julio, is here as well. And, you know, it's not every day that we have 2 guys who are a father and son involved in the game of boxing. Yeah, you hear about it on the bigger level in those fantastical stories on like a 30 for 30 that's got a bunch of edited stuff. So for you, how much is there pride in this, seeing your son do this? How much of it is, I don't know if I want him to do
it? You hit it on the head. It's a lot of I don't want him to do it. I never wanted boxing for my son. I'm sure you know I'm a former professional fighter myself. My father trained me. He didn't want it for me. I kind of forced his hand. I was able to force his hand as a child. I was a little stronger with him. He wasn't able to force my hand until he was an adult, but he basically let me know last year that, you know, this was something that he was going to do with or without me. So, you know, I had to get it together and do it with him and help him out, try to guide him, keep him safe as possible. You know, I'm just like any other dad, though. He's my baby. And boxing's a rough sport, both in and outside of the ring. So, you know, I want to protect him, but, you know, he's been very disciplined, focused, worked real hard. I've seen a complete change in his attitude and, you know, his demeanor. It kind of brought everything together in his life outside of boxing as well. And, you know, like he told you, he's a lifelong athlete. He's always done a lot of working out. And I think when he left, he played college basketball for a little bit. When he left that, he lost the structure in his life, and kind of boxing kind of brought that back. So, you know, I kind of got my old son back. So, you know, I'm happy for it. He's a lot more focused and happy, he seems now.
From your perspective, you made your pro debut versus him making his pro debut. What's the difference?
About 100 amateur fights. We're about the same age, though. No, I was a little older than him because I went off into the Army. Like, I had a different story than him. I started boxing really early. I was 8 years old, had over 100 amateur fights, got burned out, tired of it. By the time I was 16, 17, went into the Army for 4 years, came home, lost my father, kind of lost my direction. After a couple years, got it together, had a couple amateur fights, and turned pro. But it was kind of like with me, I always saw myself becoming a professional fighter at some point. For my son, at least in my eyes, this kind of came out of left field because in my mind, I was so far removed from ever seeing my son as a fighter. But he's proved to me that, he has what it takes and that he is really a fighter.
You just mentioned something at the very end there because it's something I've talked to Justin Figueroa about a lot of times, about being a fighter. He has mentioned that as well, about the idea that, it's not something that you become. You either are or you're not.
Correct.
It's built into your DNA. So what does that phrase mean to you? Because our audience has heard Justin Figueroa talk about that. So for you, yourself, and then looking at your son, what does being a fighter mean to you?
It's just you're a different type of individual with a different mindset, and you're willing to go places that other people aren't willing to go. You're willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do, and you're willing to risk yourself in order to achieve what you set out to do. So it's kind of similar. I'm a career firefighter, retired too, so it's kind of similar to that. There's two different makeups of a person. Some people run from danger, some people run towards it, and fighters run towards it.
Of course, Julio Sanchez III will make his debut at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City on Saturday, March 22nd. Now, you hear your dad talk about you. Is there a part of you that looks over him and just like, come on, Dad, like back off a little bit? Or do you understand that it's coming from a place of love?
Sometimes I have to check myself because sometimes I get misconstrued with dad and coach, and I feel like he is a little hard, but then the older me and the growth in me lets me know that he just wants me to be as best as I could be and make sure that I'm 110% ready for each and every time I go out there. So,
when you think about that transition from basketball, because you were a really good basketball player, very good basketball player in high school, but now boxing's a different animal. For you, how much of it is mindset at this point, where you're saying, obviously in basketball it's about rhythm. So is boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But basketball, it's about a team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you in that ring. So how much of that you're almost, for lack of a better term, because at least from my perspective, okay, it's like you're basically having to unprogram yourself from being selfish to being selfish.
I feel like there is a difference between. It's a big difference from having to be like a team player and being unselfish to now just it's all about me. Everything is on me. But I feel like mentally, like it's the same thing. Like I attack it the same way. Like go hard or go home. Gotta give 110% every time you step out to put on a show.
When I say that Julio Sanchez III is from Pleasantville, what does that mean to you?
I mean everything. As far as I can remember, I always been there. Pleasantville mean everything to me. So just being able to represent Pleasantville, put on for the people back home, it means everything to me.
Who's a fighter or fighters that you like to watch to model your game after or learn from, or maybe take say, okay, I saw this guy do that. That's something I want to try.
I love watching boxing, so I watch a lot of guys. I like watching Tank Davis. I watch Terrence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, Pretty Boy Mayweather. I watch even local guys like Anthony Young. He's been a big help to me. He's in the gym with me. I pretty much watch everybody. I watch the little clips I can of my dad, Virgil Hill. So I watch everybody and try to take what I can and try to use it as much as I can.
Selfishly, I'm not a big Mayweather guy, so I won't hold that against you. So I prefer my fighters to be a little more aggressive. That's just me. I'm more of a Bernard Hopkins guy personally.
Bernard Hopkins.
So, but before I let you guys go, when people come out to Tropicana on Saturday, March 22nd, and they see you, a lot of these people see you for the very first time. They've never seen you fight. They're going to see you in the flesh. What can they expect to see?
They could just expect me to go out there and give it 110% and go out there and try to put on a show, and hopefully they leave like that guy could go.
Where can people follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Instagram at Julio Sanchez and on Facebook at Julio Sanchez. And that's it.
And of course, Saturday, March 22nd, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City is where you can see the pro debut of Julio Sanchez III. Julio? And Julio, thank you both for coming out. Go ahead.
Appreciate you.
Jump on that mic there. Just swing it over.
We got tickets for sale. Hit me up on Facebook, Julio Sanchez, on Instagram, Crown Jewel Boxing. I will bring the tickets to you. We have bleacher seats available, $77.50. Best seats in the house. Get at us for tickets. Pleasantville, I want to see you in the building.
And really quick, Crown Jewel Boxing. Tell people where that is.
Crown Jewel Boxing initially started out as a boxing news website of mine. I also was managing fighters at one time. I helped promote fights at one time. But now it's a YouTube channel that I have, and I basically, I'm not on it as much as I should be because I'm training Bruce and Jewel, my fighters. I run the boxing program at the Pleasantville Rec Center, so I really don't have the time to mess with it like I used to. But Crown Jewel Boxing is basically my media arm, and now it's a YouTube channel. So you guys can go on to Crown Jewel Boxing on YouTube too and check out some of my media content from a guy with 40 plus years experience in the game.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys coming in the studio, and I look forward to seeing you make your pro debut. Again, March 22nd, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City.
Pleasantville's bringing the pain.